Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Wednesday morning. It's a coffee kind of morning. Looks like a beautiful sunny day out there today. It's supposed to warm up to 13, 14 degrees Celsius. I can't remember what it is in Fahrenheit. It's just going to be a hell of a lot warmer than it has been, for sure. And hopefully it just continues. Time change this weekend, so it's going to be spring ahead, and lighter days and later nights for sure. Looking forward to it. Wanted to continue my VCLT review. Having a great time doing this. I just haven't got to it in a bit because of all these great contests and my series, my Albums to Discover series. So I've received some great VCLT, and I thought I'd explain and talk about and describe and show and how much I love these VCLT albums that I received. So this came from the amazing Aaron Mutha Alamare. Love this guy. He's so giving. One of the givingest people. If that's givingest, is that a word? One of the most giving people in the BC. He's just outstanding. The way he does it, he discovers what you're into, and he really researches and figures everything out, and then sends you albums that either are part of your discography or albums that he thinks that you would love. And he knew I liked this band. I absolutely love this band. They're amazing. I want to get more of their discography. I don't have enough. But he sent me this one, Let It Roll by Little Feat. Great southern rock band. So good. In a MoFi sleeve on Warner Brothers. Just a remarkable album. And I'll talk about that in just a bit. I just want to go over a bit of the band's history, some of the albums that I have in there, and my discography for them. As I said, I don't have enough. But yeah, Little Feat, great American band, combining rock and rhythm and blues and southern rock and country rock and swamp rock. Formed by the late, great Lowell George, amazing singer-songwriter, amazing player, guitar player, added a lot of humor to his lyrics, very statistical lyrics. And also formed by Bill Payne, keyboardist, in 1969. Unfortunately, Lowell left the band in 1979, and not long after that, he passed away due to a heart attack. Tragic loss for the band. These guys have been around for 50 years. It's hard to believe, 50 years. Of course, and I just did a contest on changes. By the way, please enter my contest. It's about band changes and the changes that bands go through. And what do you prefer? Do you prefer the original? Do you prefer the changes? And it's a great contest. Check out that on my channel. Anyway, Jimmy Page called Little Feat his favorite American band in a 1975 Rolling Stones interview. So these guys are no slouches. They're pretty damn good. Lowell George was originally with the Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention band, which is kind of cool. Bill Payne auditioned for the band, but he didn't make it. Payne and George formed Little Feat, along with Roy Estrada from the Mothers of Invention bassist. Sorry, he was bassist for the Mothers of Invention, and drummer Richie Hayward. He was originally with Lowell George's band, The Factory. So, the history all around that these guys were together with all these great bands and players. And that's like most bands. They come from greatness, and they put together, and they even become greater. The name Little Feat came from a comment by the Mothers of Invention drummer, Jimmy Carl Black, about how small Lowell George's feet were. And then They changed the spelling to feat, F-E-A-T, to idolize the Beatles. So because the Beatles changed their uh, spelling of Beatles to include an A, and that's what Little Feat did as well. Kind of cool. As I said earlier, I don't have enough of their discography, but I do have a few great albums of theirs. This is Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Amazing album. Really, really good. It's 1974 release, fourth studio album by the band. Guitarist and vocalist Paul Barriere had joined the group and just added that second guitar sound that the band needed. Great addition to the band. Amazing player, amazing slide player as well. Also had Sam Clayton, great percussionist and drummer, Congo drummer. He joined in 1972. I also plays, also sings some lead vocals on a couple of the albums. He's played with many groups, including Bonnie Raitt. Played with her quite a bit. Kenny Gradney on bass. He actually suggested that Sam Clayton join the band. And Kenny Gradney has been with the band ever since 1972. He's one of the few founding members left, or original members left. Of course, you have Lowell George on guitar and vocals, Richie Hayward on drums, and Bill Payne on keyboards. It's probably them at their peak, at the top of their game, but a great, great album. So good. So good. Then I have what's next here? A live album, Waiting for Columbus. An amazing album. There's the band there. Lots of jams, lots of great dual guitar solos. It's the first live album by the band as well. It was recorded at the Rankin University in London and the George Washington University Lisner Auditorium in Washington, D.C. They were also backed by the Tower of Power horn section on this one. They also were on the previous album, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. They were featured on that as well. Lots of extended songs, piano solos. Again, great guitar jam between Lowell George and Paul Barriere. Amazing live album. Such a great version of some great studio albums. And there's the lineup there. Really, really good. Really good stuff. And then I have 1979's Down on the Farm. In vinyl, obviously. The seventh studio album by the band. It was completed and released shortly after the death of Lowell George. Unfortunately, we lost Lowell George. It would be the last album that they work on together, and the band actually broke up before the release of the album. They wouldn't reform again until 1987. There's some great guest artists on this one. David Lindley, great Canadian guitarist, amazing guitarist. Robin Ford, guitarist. Sneaky Pete Kellner on pedal and steel guitar. Bonnie Raitt on backing vocals. She's on a lot of their tracks, a lot of their albums, Bonnie Raitt. Lowell George wasn't totally involved with the making of this album. he was focusing more of a solo album, but when he toured to promote his solo album, he died of a heart attack. The album was called Thanks, I'll Eat Here. So it left an incomplete album. So after the band mourned, they regrouped, and they put together and finished this album. A lot of great work on this one. Again, it wasn't totally involved with Lowell George, so David Lindley and Robin Ford stepped in to do the guitar work. So it doesn't have that Lowell George feel to it, but at the same time, it still shines. There's still some great gems on this one. It may be not as strong as Feats Don't Fail Me Now, but it's still a great, great album. And again, their band was going through transition. They were in the process of breaking up. They were in the process of losing a major band member. So maybe their heart wasn't into it completely, but it's still, they put the effort together for sure. I'm going to talk about Let It Roll in a minute. I just want to talk about one of the later albums I have of these guys. This is Rooster Rag, the 15th studio album released in 2012. Another fantastic album. And it was the first to feature Gabe Ford on drums, and unfortunately the last to feature Paul Barrier, the amazing guitarist who passed away in 2019. Big loss for the band. But the album itself shines, man. It's just such a great album. That's a swamp rhythm type of album. Nasty slide work by Paul Barrier. Funky, bluesy, country rock and roll. Because Lowell George was the main lyricist, and he put a lot of himself into the lyrics, they asked Grateful Dead's lyricist Robert Hunter to help out with the lyrics on a lot of the songs. And the album sounds fresh. They've had a lot of losses in this band for sure. Speaking of changes, going back to my contest, this band's gone through a ton of changes, but they seem to come together. They seem to regroup and put together an amazing bunch of songs, and it just shines, this one. It's a gem of an album for sure. So finally, Let It Roll. It's not their last album. It's actually, it came after this one, Down on the Farm. So Let It Roll. Thank you, Aaron. Love you, buddy. You're so good. You're such an amazing part of the VC. Yeah, there's Paul Barrier. That is Sam Clayton, percussionist. Kenny Gradney on bass. Craig Fuller on vocals and accordion and sometimes guitar on this one. It's a great album. It really, really is. Despite all the loss that they've had, it was 8 of the songs were co-written by new lead singer and new member Craig Fuller from the Pure Prairie League, and it was the first album without Lowell George. So again, the band grouped together. They had to create a new album, and they brought together a great vocalist in Craig Fuller. He is really a great singer. It remains one of the most successful albums. The first track is the first single off the album, Hate to Lose Your Love. Great track. And it also became their first #1 hit. They sound refreshed, and the album, again, it sounds really, really good. They added another member to the band in Fred Tackett, guitar, mandolin, trumpet. Also, Bonnie Raitt, Linda Ronstadt, and Bob Seger add vocals to this one as well. So it's just a well-rounded album. It's really so good. They return to the sounds of Featstone Family now, I feel, and got that classic Little Feat sound to them. It stands up against any of their albums, and yes, Lowell George was missed. He was a mainstay of this band. He created some amazing songs, amazing player, but they had to regroup, and I think they did it right in this album. I really do. I think it's a great album. So there you have it. Thank you, Aaron, for this great VCLT. And I'll be showing you some more. I've still got quite a bit more to show. And take care, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. Love you all. Thanks so much. Bye now.